some of you all are sort of newer to the WNBA. Some of y'all are newer, and maybe some of y'all who are not newer, maybe y'all haven't been paying as close of attention. And so what I want to do a fun exercise where we go through the long list of LA Sparks coaches. Now, here's the thing. The LA Sparks have had the most coaches in WNBA history, basically. We have seen so many different coaches take the helm for this team. And I thought it would be fun for me to take the time to make a list of every single head coach that has been the coach for the LA Sparks. Now, guys, this isn't even the whole list. This isn't even a whole list. This is the first 8 teams, first eight coaches. This is the first 8 coaches that have been the coach for the LA Sparks. Now we gonna go through this list because this is a very, very, very interesting list, right? All right. So we first start off the LA Sparks is a inaugural team, right? So they start off playing in 1997. In 1997, in the inaugural season, we have Linda Sharp as the head coach for the LA Sparks. Now we just gonna go down the line because there was a lot of coaches, right? There was a lot of coaches for the LA Sparks. A thing to know about Linda Sharp is that she is a Hall of Famer. She was inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2021. She's a player who was a baller, right? She's a point guard. She played for Cal State Fullerton. Did a coaching gig for a little bit. She was the head coach for the inaugural year for the LA Sparks. She ultimately did go over to the Phoenix Mercury first as an assistant coach and I believe as a head coach as well. So that's Linda Sharp. All right. And then after Linda Sharp, we go into Julie Rosaru, and I'm sorry, I'm actually really, really bad at pronunciation. So we had Julie, who was the head coach for about a half a season, or a season and a half of sorts. Then we saw Orlando Woodridge take the helm for the LA Sparks. We then move over to Michael Cooper, who has been the most successful head coach for the LA Sparks. He did win the Sparks a championship, and so that's a huge thing. We saw Carlene Thompson and Ryan Weissenberg. They were both sort of was 2 co-head coaches for the LA Sparks in 2004. We saw Kobe Bryant's dad, Joe Bryant, take the helm a couple of times for the LA Sparks from 2005 to 2007, and then he came back to be the head coach for the Sparks in 2011 through 2012. We saw Jennifer Gillum, who's a pretty important mainstay when it comes to women's basketball. She was the head coach from 2009 to 2011. And we saw Carol Ross take on the role from 2012 to 2014. Now, guys, if y'all are like, oh, that's the list? Nah, that's not the list. The list is not over. The list is not over at all. We continue on, guys. We continue on. We see Penny Toller, who also did spend some time as the GM for the LA Sparks. Penny Toller was officially the head coach for the LA Sparks in 2014. We see her serve as the general manager also from 2000 to 2019. So from 2000 to 2019, she was the general manager of the LA Sparks, but in 2014, she specifically took on the role as the head coach for the LA Sparks for a little bit of time. All right, we continue on. We have Brian Agler. Brian Agler, he had a very successful career with the Seattle Storm, won a championship. He ultimately did decide to go to the LA Sparks in 2015. He was there from 2015 to 2018. Brian Agler he did have like a bit of a scandal. I'm not going to get into specifically what he was accused of doing, but that was definitely a thing. And his time with the LA Sparks ended kind kind of as a lot more attention was spent towards Anyway, let's continue on. Let's move over to Derek Fisher, who was the head coach for the LA Sparks from 2018 to 2022. Now, Derek Fisher, you all probably know Derek Fisher. He was a LA Laker for a long time. He wanted to get in the coaching game, and he did, right? He got into the coaching game, and we didn't see a ton of success. There was a particular moment in the WNBA playoffs where Derek Fisher benched Candace Parker, and that was kind of like all she wrote. That really did seal the nail in the coffin for Candace Parker to ultimately leave the LA Sparks, and so that was definitely a thing. But he did serve as the head coach for a little while, so from 2018 to 2022. And actually a thing to note about Derek Fisher is he didn't last the entire season. I believe he coached about 12 games or so before he was fired in 2020, in the middle of the season for 2022. We saw Fred Williams take on the role as interim head coach for the remainder of the season. So he was the head coach for half a season basically. And then after the season was over, we saw there was a search done by the LA Sparks, and they named Curt Miller as the head coach in 2023. He served as a head coach for 2 years. Ultimately, he did get fired about a week ago. Now, the question is, who is next? Who is next to be the head coach of the LA Sparks? This LA Sparks team has had so many head coaches, guys. Like a lot of head coaches. And guys, I did actually forget to add someone else on this list. So Henry Bibby was the head coach of the LA Sparks in 2005. A thing to note about Henry is that Henry is actually the father of Mike Bibby. So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing that is actually pretty funny. Here's the thing that is actually pretty funny about the LA Sparks. So this LA Sparks team, they have a thing about getting players' dads to be the head coach. We saw in the Sparks history, we saw Joe Bryant, Kobe Bryant's dad, serve as the head coach for a couple of years. Again, he was the head coach from a part of 2005, 2007, and 2011 to 2012. And then we saw Henry Bibby. Again, Henry Bibby is Mike Bibby's dad. If y'all don't know Mike Bibby, y'all don't know the NBA basketball. I was a big fan of Mike Bibby back in the day. I really did like Mike Bibby. But anyway, Mike Bibby, or I'm sorry, not Mike Bibby, Henry Bibby, Mike Bibby's father, was the head coach of the LA Sparks for a smidget of time in 2005. So that is something to note. There is something about dads and their ability to get a job as the head coach of the LA Sparks. So guys, if y'all did not know this, now you know. It took me a while to make that sort of like collage of photos. Yeah, did you know that the LA Sparks had this many coaches? Again, let's go through the list real quick. Let's go through the list. Linda Sharp, Julie Rosu, Orlando Woodridge, Michael Cooper, Carlene Thompson and Ryan Weisenberg, Joe Bryant, Jennifer Gillum, Carol Ross, Henry Bibby. Let's keep going. Penny Toller, Brian Agler, Derek Fisher, Fred Williams, and Curt Miller. My question is, My question is, who is next? Who is next to be the head coach of the LA Sparks? Who's going to do it? Who is going to take on that role? Now, guys, again, I am working on a overall coaching history of every team in the WNBA. I've started with the LA Sparks. That's why I have this long list of the LA Sparks head coaches. But guys, I'm going to have a list with photos and everything of every former coach in the WNBA. So, guys, I'm just saying, who's next? Let me know. Let me know who y'all think is next. Dion says Shaq. You think Shaq is going to be the head coach of the LA Sparks? That'll be interesting. Shaq is way too busy making money. He is way too busy making money to do that. I don't think he takes that on. I really don't. I don't think he takes that on. But anyway, guys, let me know what y'all thought about me including that as a section. Was it worth the I don't know, like 30 minutes it took to actually make those slides? Was it worth it? Let me know. And also, do y'all find this stuff interesting? Do y'all find it interesting to hear how many coaches were a part of the LA Sparks legacy? It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to think about. It really is kind of crazy to think about. But that's kind of where we are. That's kind of where we are. All right, looks like I got a super chat. Let me read that real quick. Triple X, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, will Angel have Caitlin on her podcast? # off topic. Not sure. I'm sure she'd be happy to have her on there. It's I don't know if that would actually happen, but that'd be cool. I mean, personally, as a women's basketball fan, I think it'd be awesome. I think it would be really, really great if Caitlin joined Angel on her podcast. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe the players will. I mean, maybe they will. Maybe they won't. Who knows? who really knows at the end of the day? But I'd say this: if that happened, that video would be getting 1 million views, guaranteed. That video, if they had that interview, that would do 1 million views. Period. Straight up. Yeah, that would do very, very well. Very, very, very well. All right, so that's kind of my thoughts on that. But anyway, we took a small little detour to go through the history books of the LA Sparks. Now let's get back to our regularly scheduled program, which is talking about the coaches who have gotten let go from their team. Neat the Nurse says, WNBA University, thanks for the research and facts. Appreciate you, Quita. Well, appreciate y'all for rocking with me, and I'm so happy that y'all are even interested in this stuff. See, I tell you, this random research and all this other stuff, this is what I used to do all the time. But there was nobody for me to talk to really talk to this about, besides my mama. But nobody else would be that interested in what was happening. So I'm happy y'all are actually interested in this. So thank y'all so much for the support. Really do appreciate it so much. Now, guys, let's continue on. Also, guys, if y'all liked that sort of trip down memory lane, if y'all could let me know if y'all liked it by hitting that like button, please hit that like button. That really does help the channel out a whole lot. It helps more people find the channel. And it does give me a little bit of encouragement knowing that you all are liking what we're doing on the channel. I say what we're doing, it's just me, but we're all together. We're all a women's basketball family together. So please hit that like button. Also, if y'all are not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button to make content all about women's basketball. If that is your thing, make sure to like and subscribe. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend, tell that random person that you maybe met a couple times and they're like, I don't really rock with the WNBA like that. Tell them about this channel. If they don't rock with women's basketball, tell them about this channel and be like, hey, maybe if you listen to this commentary, maybe you might have an interest in women's basketball. Who knows? Anyway, share this with anybody. It really does help the channel out a lot. I am trying to grow this thing to really figure out, guys. Ultimately, my goal is to figure out, could this be a real career? Could this be a real sustainable thing for me? I don't know, but I want to find out. so help me find that out by supporting me if you can. Also, I have merch at qulsapparel.com. Once again, that is qulsapparel.com. I do have 2 sweatshirts that I just put on there on the store, and I have lots of t-shirts. So y'all rock with the merch. Get your merch, qlsapparel.com. The link is in the description.